What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. This is a question that one of my subscribers asked me just now. They wanted to know why I don't have Pete Maravich as one of my top 15 shooting guards, and I used to have him as one of my top 10 shooting guards. And I am very, very aware of the influence that Pete Maravich had on the game. He was very revolutionary. He took what Bob Cousy did in the 50s and took it to another level. Before Pete Maravich, we never saw a player of his size being able to do the things that he was doing. I mean, Cousy was what, 6'1", 170. Pete Maravich was 6'5", 200, 205. So at the time, we had never seen a guy be able to do what he did, because at that time, 6'5", 200-pound players often were forwards. So here's a guard that has point guard ability. We hadn't quite seen that. Another thing with Pete Maravich was not just the passing ability, but the dribbling ability, the ball handling ability, the trickery, the things he could do with the basketball. We had never seen that before. And last but not least, the shooting ability, especially being able to shoot from deep. At that time, Pete Maravich was an anomaly in basketball. A guy that could, on any given night or quarter or half, completely light a team up, as he did the New York Knicks. I think it was February of 1977. Might have been February 25th, but February of 1977 when he scored a career high 68 points, and he could have scored more points had he not fouled out with 3 minutes and some change to go in the game. And reanalysis showed that I think 7 of those shots would have been three-pointers today. So if this game had happened, say, in 1980, just 2 years later, it would have been a 75-point game. So this guy literally could have been flirting with an 80-point game had this been, say, a couple of years later, when they actually started holding the whistle for superstars. But why do I put him down a little bit? Now, when I say put him down, why did I drop him a little bit? There's a couple of reasons. I was not aware that Pete only played in 26 playoff games. Only 26. I mean, I know some of it is that he wasn't on great teams. And I get that. Those New Orleans Jazz teams were not great. And some of it was unfortunate injuries, even when he was playing with Atlanta. And he wasn't the greatest fit with Atlanta, because Atlanta was sort of first of all, Atlanta Hawks at the time were a very conservative team with a conservative offense. That was something that the NBA personified in contrast to the ABA. Really, to be honest with you, Pete Maravich would have fit in better with the ABA than the NBA. I really believe that. So Pete was such a culture shock to the Atlanta Hawks. The NBA in general, like I said, was conservative. Atlanta itself was a conservative city, obviously. So Pete didn't fit in there, but he still put up great numbers. But he also had years where, his stats were way down, his shooting was down, there was some inconsistency there. Pete was a great shooter, but he could be a little bit inconsistent. He was 44% for his career. Pete had some phenomenal scoring nights. But he also had some nights where He didn't shoot the ball particularly well. All right. Some of it is his shot selection. He was a guy that took a lot of deep shots. So, of course, you're going to have some nights where those shots aren't falling. Pete was not a strong defender. And Pete was also turnover prone. Very turnover prone. So these are some things that kind of nick him down a little bit. Do I think he's top 50? It's debatable. I know some people do have him in the top 50. I kind of have him more in my top 60 now. Now, if you're asking me, is he top 75? Yes. He's top 75. Well, actually, no. Let me rethink that. No, I can't say that I have him in my top 60. I can't say that. I would say he's top 75 to me. Top 75. And the reason why I have to say that is because Vince and Tracy are like in like my top 65, top 70 range. So Pete would be right there. So to answer the question, yeah, I have Pete Maravich as top 75. But because of these large influx, I used to have him top 50. But because of this large influx of guards that are going to the Hall of Fame, and I have to look at their careers, guys like Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Ray Allen now, James Harden. Because of these guys, Klay Thompson, I've had to kind of push Pete down a little bit. So anyway, hope that answers the question. Yeah, I have him as top 75.